right. We're gonna move on to War Eagle, Auburn. Auburn is coming off of a 5-7, 2-6 season, but some might say it's a loss. I say good riddance. As a guy who played for MSU, Peyton Thorne is gone. So Peyton Thorne, to me, at first, he might have just been a product of Kenneth Walker, bro. It is what it is. But
Hmm.
they returned 11 starters, 6 on offense, 5 on defense, namely another freshman receiver who some might say is up there with Ryan Williams, Cam Coleman. Cam Coleman had 37 catches, 598 yards, and 8 touchdowns last season. A phenomenal year for the freshman. Malcolm Simmons, a wide receiver who had 40 catches, 451 yards, and 3 touchdowns. And they returned 4 of their offensive linemen. They lose their left guard from last season. They returned Keldrick Falk, who led them in sacks, who had 7 sacks, 45 total tackles, 30 solos, a pass breakup, and a forced fumble, and a fumble recovery. Caleb Harris, safety, had 44 total tackles, 29 solos, 3 pass breakups, and a forced fumble. Sylvester Smith, a safety, who had 28 total tackles, 17 solos, 2 pass breakups, and an interception. Kalen Lee, a cornerback, who had 32 total tackles, 29 solos, 7 pass breakups, and 2 interceptions. Jay Crawford, cornerback, who had 15 total tackles, 13 solos, 7 pass breakups, and an interception. Now, they lost the heartbeat of that offense, and some might say the offense wasn't that good anyway, but I say they should have used them more. Jarquez Hunter.
Hmm.
Now, Jarquez Hunter had 187 carries, so if he had 187 carries, and I feel like that's still not enough, that says something. But he had 187 carries, 1,201 yards, 6.4 carry, and 8 touchdowns. Currently on the Rams. They lost Keandre Lambert Smith, who actually had a pretty good season coming over from Penn State. 50 catches, 981 yards, and 8 touchdowns. Currently on the Chargers. They lose Eugene Asante, who had 45 total tackles, 31 solos, 2.5 sacks, and a fumble recovery on the Dolphins. They lost Dorian Mousy Jr., linebacker, had 81 total tackles, 50 solos, 2.5 sacks, 2 pass breakups, and a forced fumble. Jaron Thompson, a safety, who had 65 total tackles, 45 solos, a sack, 5 pass breakups, 2 interceptions. And Jalen McLeod Jr., Jalen McLeod, a linebacker, who had 56 total tackles, 40 solos, 8 sacks. So, excuse me, I thought Keldrick actually let him know. It was actually Jalen McLeod. 8 sacks, a pass breakup, 2 forced fumbles, a fumble recovery, and he is currently on the Jags. They have the 6th overall recruiting class, 8th in transfers. Talk to me about Auburn, Joe.
Yeah. So Auburn. So this was a tricky one for me. 4 consecutive losing seasons. It's the first time since 1947, 1950, which is crazy. So having 5 in a row will be insane. So they want to break that streak, obviously. Jackson Arnold, I feel like, coming from Oklahoma, I feel like this is probably not probably, it is a much better supporting cast he had in Oklahoma. So I think he's better fit right here. I do think he takes a lot of sacks, but I think I know you mentioned Cam Coleman, but a big addition for me is Eric Singleton Jr. Coming from Georgia Tech, he was their best receiver last year. That's going to be a huge addition for him this year. So Auburn, they have that type of team where they could be like that 500 team, or they could be one of those contenders in the SEC.
So I was going to talk about that when we got to the transfers. I was going to talk about Jackson Arnold coming in because, again, I've said it before. Jackson Arnold got a bad rap at Oklahoma, and it was not his fault. What do you want the man to do when his top 6 receivers are all injured? What do you want me to do?
It's crazy.
I don't know. I can't do nothing with that. So I felt like he should have got the grace that he didn't get. They thought, oh, well, let's turn to Michael Hawkins. It didn't look good either. So nobody said, all right, bro, we just don't have the numbers at receiver to do this. So I think him coming to Auburn, like you said, with Eric Singleton Jr., who I was going to talk about as well, had a
Mhm.
really good year at Georgia Tech. You match that with Cam Coleman and Malcolm Simmons. It bodes for a really good offense. And they bring over Darrell Robinson, a running back from UConn, who had 731 yards and 8 touchdowns. I think that's going to be solid as well. I think offensively, Auburn is going to be much better than Peyton Thorne, and I forgot who else they had at quarterback last year. It don't matter. It was bad. And then I think Auburn always has a solid defense, in my opinion. I don't think the defense is Auburn's problems throughout this 4 season losing streak. I think that's always been the problem has been quarterback play and just I think honestly it's just been quarterback play. I mean, you've had a running back, you've had Jaquez Hunter, you've had guys, you had Tank Bigsby. You just didn't have a quarterback, in my opinion, and now you have one in Jackson Arnold, in my opinion. So I think they're going to be fine. And they also bring over Chris Murray from Sam Houston, who had 5.5 sacks last season and 2 forced fumbles. So I'm interested to see how he does to help Keldrick Falk on the opposite side. I think Auburn's going to be in for a good surprise. And also, one of those 4 seasons was only Hugh Freeze, which this is his second year at Auburn. So I know Auburn fans are looking for him to break the curse, but Auburn finished 29th in total offense, 31st in total defense, 28th in passing, which was crazy for me to see. But I was thinking, like, yeah, they had to throw the ball to come back. So maybe that was a part of it. 62nd in rushing, 71st in scoring offense, 52nd in passing defense, 27th in rushing defense, and 28th in scoring defense. If you're ready, we can talk about the schedule.
Let's get it, man. I'm curious to see what you guys say on this one.
All right, cool. So first game is at Baylor, and if you watch my I keep saying Pac-12, Big 12 preview. You know I got Baylor winning this game because it's at home, and Baylor ended the season high. I'm actually high on Baylor, so I got Baylor.
Oh, you are? Okay. I actually got this as a W.
I can see it. It's a game that can go either way. SEC defense versus Big 12 offense. Big 12 really don't play defense, but Baylor is a school that actually, in years past, have had played defense. So I think it's a tightly contested ball game. I gave Baylor the edge being at home.
All right.
Next, against Ball State, I have as a win.
Mm-hmm. W.
South Alabama, I have as a win.
Mm-hmm.
At Oklahoma, I have as a win.
I have this as an L.
Ooh, you don't think Jackson Arnold gets revenge against his former school?
Yeah, but in Oklahoma too. That's why I picked this as an L because it's at Oklahoma.
I get that, and they got John Mateer. We'll talk about that later. But John Mateer, allegedly, I'm gonna say allegedly, some gambling things going on. I don't know. So we'll see about that one. But that kind of went into my Oklahoma preview. I'm not sure if it's honestly true or not, but it kind of went into it because it's been some reports. I'm like, that's not true, and then it actually was true. So, next game at Texas A&M at Cal Field, I have as a loss.
Okay, I do too.
Next game Georgia, I have as a loss.
I do too.
Next game Missouri, I have as a win.
I do too.
Next game at Arkansas, I have as a win.
I already said it. I had it as a loss.
Yeah, I was about to say, I think you had this as a loss.
Next game, I was about to say it's funny I had this as a loss, but I just realized we already went over Arkansas.
Yeah. Kentucky, I have as a win.
I do too.
At Vanderbilt, I have as a win, but it was close.
I got this as a win too.
All right. Mercer, a win.
I do too.
And then the Iron Bone we already talked about, I have as an L. So I have Auburn going 8-4, 5-3, taking the over 7.5 win total by the hook. And they finally have a bowl game to cheer about.
Yeah, I got 7-6, but 7-5. Sorry, I'm tripping. 7-5 and 3-5.
Yeah, because you got.
Yeah, I'm tripping.
Yeah, you got Arkansas as a loss, and you have Oklahoma as a loss. Yep.
Yeah, 7-5, 3-5 in the conference.
I don't know if Auburn fans will be happy with a losing SEC record, but I know they'll be happy about that bowl game. I do know that.
They'll be happy to having a losing season. Yeah. Thank you for staying to the end. If you're watching this on YouTube, please like this video, subscribe, and also hit that notification button so you can be notified next time we put out a video. If you're listening on any podcast platform, subscribe and hit that notification button, y'all, so you can be notified we put out another podcast audio. And last but not least, hit that share button. No matter what you're listening to or watching it, hit that share button and send it to somebody that you know that would love to watch this episode you just listened to. So once again, thank you for staying to the end, and we'll see y'all in the next episode.